Hi guys, it's Kelly from Cards by Christine here with you on a Technique Thursday to share with you the kissing technique. And I'm live. That's something special. So, we have, oh my goodness, sorry, my camera is all crooked. Okay, here is my kissing card. And this right here is what I'm going to be showing off. So let's put that there, and I need to, my space is a little shifty. I thought I had that taken care of. So let's get some comments in here, because I'm not used to being live for this. So I don't know if we're gonna have some friends or not. So kissing is a way to stamp a stamp, or I should say stamp onto another stamp to get a texture. And that's how this basket has that texture on it. So we are going to take one of the natural textures stamp. So I'm using this woven stamp, and I'm going to take that and stamp it onto soft suede to pick up that texture. Then I'm going to flip that over and take the terracotta pot from Cactus Cuties and load that on my block. And I see I didn't clean it from my sample card, so I'm gonna clean that off before we get started. And okay, so now we have a clean stamp. That's a good place to start. So we're going to take that and go ahead and stamp it onto, I'm just gonna see here, make sure that I'm where I need to be, because I haven't seen any comments come through. And you did? Okay, so it's there. So hi to everyone if you're there. Sorry if it's not loading correctly. Okay, so I've got my stamp, and it's still a little dirty, so I want to make sure that I get that cleaned off. Okay, all right, so I'm going to take my stamp and I'm going to stamp it onto my texture that I have flipped over. And then, look at that. Can you see that?
So you got somebody.
Yeah, I got somebody. Hi, Carla. All right, so then we are going to go ahead and stamp it onto the page, and look at how beautiful that is. So instead of it being a solid, like right here, you've got that texture straight on it. And the Natural Textures stamp set has 4 beautiful different textures that you could utilize. So here's kind of like bricks. There's the woven that we're using. Here's like a linen texture. And then this is kind of like a natural, hi Linda, natural kind of like wood grain texture. So cool. You can use all of those for a variety of different purposes, including this. And I actually cased this card from, it was on the Stampin' Up page. So what I saw them do, I didn't do it on this card. I tried it on a sample and it didn't turn out as great as I wanted it to. Hi, Sherry Martin. So I'm going to try again. Is they stamped down, hi Mo, I'm glad you like it. They stamped it down and then they stamped a solid color on top of it. So I'm going to try again. Just because it didn't work the first time doesn't mean I should just give up. So bear with me as I try this. I think what I did was it was too dark. So I'm going to take a different color, Sahara Sand, and I'm even going to stamp off. So let's bring some Sahara Sand onto the stamp, and then we're going to stamp off. So it's probably going to be really light, which is okay because that is really what I'm going for. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining me. Sorry, I didn't catch the name as I just glanced down. All right, and I like that actually so much better. So it's very subtle, but you can see here. So this was just the texture on basic white. And then of course I fussy cut it. And here we've got the texture on basic white, but then I took Sahara sand and I stamped it off and then stamped it on. And it kind of just colored in that basket just a little bit. So that's what I got there. Then, all right, now I'm gonna go real crazy too. I'm gonna clean off and take off this stamp. We're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it with a different texture on the leaves. Okay. Hi, Stacy. Yeah, Linda, I agree. It's really cool. I could see it used in a variety of different ways. I literally just cased the Stampin' Up! Cards, so I haven't really thought beyond this stamp set. I did this technique probably a year and a half ago, if not a little longer ago already, because time just flies. And I don't even remember what stamp set I used it in last time. Okay, so I'm going to take the basket weave texture off, and I'm going to bring in this linear texture. I kind of thought it was maybe like, I don't know, when I see this, I think that it's from like a cross section of a woodcut. I could be wrong. If anyone has a better idea of what it is, you just let me know. Okay, so then I'm going to put the basket away because I don't want to lose it. And then I need to find my leaves. Oh, where did they go? They were right in front of me, so that means they're probably stuck to something. You guys, I literally just talked about this last week. Oh, there it is, stuck to my... Okay, so I am going to stamp in just jade. Get that all inked up. And then I'm going to stamp onto it with my leaves. And I think I'm just gonna do this twice. So let's clean that off. So when I made my sample card, these are all just one-off cards. So like I design it for this purpose, and then I don't even ever, sometimes Chris uses them as class cards and stuff like that, or cases them. Oh, look at that, I just rocked there. Cases them for other purposes. But a lot of times these cards exist just for this purpose. So I usually don't take the time to redesign something that didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it. So I'm just gonna fill this in. Because now all of these need to be fussy cut out. Yay, that was last week's technique, I think. Maybe it was a week ago already. But essentially, what I'm trying to accomplish here is these I didn't want to be quite as bold as they are. So I could have either stamped on and stamped off and then had the one full strength one. But I wanted to try a different texture. So I took, and I think I'm going to fussy cut those leaves and put them in the back, and then fussy cut the full strength one and put it in the front, or vice versa. And that's why I've stamped this twice, maybe the full strength in the back and the textured one in the front. But either way, to save you some time and effort, I'm not going to do that with you live because fussy cutting is one of those fun techniques that takes a little more time, as we discussed last week. So I'm just going to close up my ink pad so that I don't make a mess, and then show you one more time what we did here, and kind of walk you through the rest of the stuff that I did. So we fussy cut these out, and then Just a Note is in Early Espresso. That is from the Cactus Cuties set as well. And then I just slanted the edges here. Used the beautiful In Good Taste DSP, which is retiring, so snatch some of that up before it's gone. And I cut that out in the Scalloped Contour dies, this second to the smallest one here. Really love that die. Then I use this ribbon, which I don't even remember what it's called, but it's one of my favorites. I really love how soft it is and how textured it is. Got the frayed white ribbon. The frayed white ribbon. Chris is our resident expert here. She's busy being the hive with Mama Janet getting kits ready for May monthly. And Let's Just Stamp, and I think they've got a couple other projects that they're working on. So they're busy bees behind me. Then I just took, this is crumb cake, and on dimensionals I have a 1.5 by 2 1/4, and I've got 4 of them. Hello, Joan from Washington State. I'm so glad you like it, Sue. So these are on dimensionals just to help give it a little extra dimension. We've also, hi Marcia. We've also got dimensionals behind. This is actually a really thick card because I've got dimensionals on this layer, and this layer. So lots of height to it, but it's so beautiful. And I love the tone on tone here with the crumb cake. So that is the card that I made for you guys featuring the kissing technique. So let's bring this back into focus here. So I kissed the texture of the basket weave. Hello, Philaine. I'm just about done here, so you'll catch the replay in just a second. Thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate it. So I kissed the texture from the Natural Textures stamp set onto this basket or this pot, and then I did it up here as well. Not quite as successfully, I think, because this is such a smaller space and such a more wide texture. But just another thing that I wanted to try. So what do you think? Have you ever heard of the kissing technique before? I know some of you already told me that you hadn't. And do you think you'll use it? And if you use it, I would love for you to comment a picture in this video or share it on Facebook. We would love to see it. And I hope you have a wonderful Technique Thursday. You can catch Chris later tonight for some live card making.